next year, and you'll just have these amazing memories and all sorts of examples to guide your college time in college.
I have one story about Lily. They're eating at the servery, and all of a sudden, Lily comes up to me and she goes, "Hey, Sosa, can I have your keys?" I was like, "For what?" She was like, "We're hungry. We're gonna go get lunch. I'm gonna borrow your car." I was like, "Get out of here! You're not borrowing my car." And she was like, "Come on, I can drive." And I was like, "Yeah, right."
The hidden talent that I know Mike and Paula have from Beer Bake last year is that both of them are pretty good at doing beer bongs. Beer bongs.
I know Mike is a really terrible chugger, and I think that's a talent because I don't actually know anybody that's ever chugged as slowly as he has.
It took him like half an hour to finish 24 ounces.
Mike chugging not his best strength.
I think it would have been faster if he just slowly sipped it out of a cup.
But beer bongs, they were pretty wicked.
Last year, first year back as an alumni.
Last year at the alumni tailgate.
I look at Ben Mitchell and I'm like, hey, beer bong, because I know you have one. I see Mike in the corner of my eye, I'm like, this needs to happen.
We got Mike to do a beer bong.
And then we see Paula, we're like, you know what? We gotta one-up that.
And then Paula did it, and she kicked his ass.
Paula is way superior than Mike at beer bonging. Way superior.
Cool. Any fun fact or story you can share about Mike and Paula?
Yeah, fun fact about Paula, I love when she bosses Mike around. That's the best part.
We came in as masters together.
We have a lot of things like late night walks through the Grove. Can you believe this?
There was that one time when we went cross-country ballooning.
But the outfits.
Yeah.
They were
too much plaid.
Yeah, too much plaid. Too much plaid. And not enough coverage.
My favorite story is that I got into Will Rice because Mike traded with Mike Gustin for me. Mike Gustin had too many science associates, and so I'm kind of like a left field hitter that got traded to round out the team.
Fun story about Mike. So when I was president, I would kind of meet eyes with him across the lunchroom, and one of the two of us anytime would start running away because we knew the other wanted to ask them something or talk about some problem or issue.
I do applied math, Mike does pure math. Our wives get along well, we dress the same, had parallel interests, even dated the same grad student in the 90s when our wives were getting their PhDs and raising kids.
She apparently gave birth to Lily and then defended her thesis in like astrophysics or whatever it is that she does that's really hard to understand, like 2 weeks later.
Mike and Paula have never helped me personally get out of trouble, but I've definitely been around a bunch of times when he's helped somebody else get out of trouble. There would be a lot of currently incarcerated Will Ricers if not for the good graces of those two.
There was a time in my life when Mike Wolf was really quite helpful.
Oh, the crane. Yes, this Will was a junior. It was Mike's second year as master. Gets this bright idea to go climb up on the crane and go rappel off the top onto Duncan Hall, because that would be the coolest thing ever. Let me just say, if you're gonna do something that requires like police not to notice you, don't do it on the night of Nod, okay? It's like the heaviest, most intense police presence. So when the police like come up, shine the light up there, like, hey you, what are you doing? Like, are you drunk? No. Really?
I was in Harris County Jail and I needed to call him up to post bail. I knew his cell phone number by heart, and not the cell phone number of my girlfriend.
And Mike was the one that bailed him out.
Thank you, Mike. I probably still be there.
It was a senior, and we had a wine tasting. And seniors always have a wine tasting second semester, and Mike and Paula hosted, and it was wonderful. It was well done. Their vast collection of cheeses and assortment of wines. Paula looks at us, just like, you guys want to try something fancy? And we're like, okay. Paula goes to her cabinet and just like opens up this cabinet full of scotch, and my mouth just drops. I'm like, oh God, what did I just agree to do? So Paula, there she goes. She lines up some cups and has all these, scotch and starts pouring, and I thought the tasting was like a sip. Paula thought otherwise and started pouring shots of scotch. I started off sipping it, and Paula looked at me and was like, drink it. At 3:30, I got the spins. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't hold up against Paula when it comes to scotch.
I'm Bridget, and I'm about to be the master of your college, and along with my husband Mike, we heard about the master search last year and talked a lot about...
Bridget and Mike, I'm gonna let y'all finish. But I'll let you know, Mike and Paula are the greatest masters of all time. All time. All time, son. What? Will Rice is sweet, son.
Mike loved the Masters house last year at McMurtry.
Yeah, that McMurtry Masters house is so shitty. It's just like a box.
I don't know any Rice architect who would design a building that terrible.
There's no way, and Mike completely agrees with us.
Apple bottom jean boots with the fur. The whole club is looking at her.
Hello, welcome to the McMurtry crib. So this is the McMurtry clam crest, and this, as I understand, Mike Wolf found, and it has since become the foundation for the actual college crest. They might look pretty, but they are pretty uncomfortable. The crib is comfier now, yeah, but it wasn't when Mike was here. The floor, check it. Right now it's kind of shiny, but when he was here it was unfinished, and it caught your socks and took pieces off of it. The walls here were originally bright, stark white. Everything was white, black, and bright red. It was like a zebra that had been shot. It was stressing everyone out. Mike had moved in, the stairs weren't done. He's the most tolerant guy. He and Paula, super tolerant people, had dealt with this. The previous island was built down so far that you couldn't get your knees under it. The house had no drawers when Mike and Paula lived here. Apparently drawers were not something that were thought to be essential. When Mike and Paula first got here, the freezer door opened the other way, except it couldn't open because they had built this bit of wall here. It wasn't supposed to go. So Mike and Paula couldn't really open their freezer. And this is the crib fridge. Right now we just keep cilantro and chocolate sauce, but when the Wolves lived here, this shelf is where they kept the beer bong, and the Jello shots went in here, absinthe, and then just general munchies and veggies for a balanced diet. This is the one of the crib bathrooms. When Mike and Paula were here, this toilet was shifted over. You couldn't fit your shoulder under the sink, so now we moved it over so that, you know, anyone can crap in our crib. And if this bathroom isn't enough for you, you can also go in this one.
Carl, can you give us an impromptu haiku about Mike and Paula?
In the last 5 years, a sweep, the President's Cup, ends justify means.
Mike and Paula are masters awesome all the time.
The Will Rice Masters at Rice for 5 fucking years. Sweep, Prez Cup, enough said.
Mike and Paula, thanks.
Mentors to students, masters.
We'll miss you next year.
Epic win. Yeah.
Alright, cake, cheese, crackers, wine. My memories are primal, and therefore will last.
Oh, Mike and Paula, the spirit of the phoenix lives in your two souls.
Will Rice will soon sweep with much myth and power. The phoenix rises. The phoenix rises. Goodbye to Mike and Paula. Will Rice again sweat?
Mike and Paula Wolf saved my crane climbing butt. I'd do it again.
Mike and Paula have done a ton of things that are innovative and really change the culture of the college.
I'm going to so miss all of the things that you've done. I'll probably come by and annoy you at your office in the math department.
Even while I was here and then while I was an alumni, they really made me feel welcome. It was a place that I belonged.
I just had these